I felt it every night. The silence wasn't empty. So one night I pretended to sleep but stayed awake. Minutes passed, then hours. At exactly 2:11 a.m., I heard slow footsteps stop beside my bed. My dear listeners, before we step into this story, let me ask you something simple. If real-life stories and the fight for truth matter to you, please subscribe, like the video, and tell me in the comments, from which city are you listening? I read every comment, and it's incredible to see this little family growing across cities and communities. All right, settle in. Your story begins now. Let me take you back to when I thought my mother-in-law's constant presence in our home was just her being helpful. When I didn't realize her devotion to her son had twisted into something deeply disturbing. My name is Tasha, 26 years old, dark brown skin with natural hair I kept in various protective styles, usually passion twists or knotless braids. I worked as a paralegal at a law firm in Atlanta, making $54,000 a year. Good steady job that I enjoyed, helping lawyers prepare cases, doing research, organizing documents. I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Kirkwood neighborhood with my husband Marcus, $1,750 rent every month. We'd been married for 14 months, together for 3 years total. Still in that phase where everything felt new, where we were building our life together. Marcus was 28, light-skinned with a fade and well-groomed beard, worked as a sales manager at a car dealership making about $68,000 with commissions. Charming, outgoing, always knew how to make people laugh. We met at a friend's birthday party at Sweet Lounge, started talking by the bar, exchanged numbers, went on our first date 3 days later to the Optimist, $98.54 for dinner. Got married at a small ceremony at the estate, $14,300 total for everything including the reception. His mother Diane moved in with us in February of last year. She was 59, medium brown skin, had been a nurse before retiring early due to back problems, lived on disability income of about $1,800 monthly. She'd been living alone in an apartment in East Point, but her landlord sold the building and everyone had to move out. She couldn't find anything affordable in time. "It'll just be temporary," Marcus said when he asked me about her staying with us. It was a Saturday morning, February 4th. We were having breakfast at the kitchen table, French toast, turkey bacon, orange juice, $26.43 in groceries from Kroger. Just until she finds a new place, 2 months max. Where will she sleep? We only have 2 bedrooms. She can take the second bedroom. We were just using it for storage anyway. I looked at my husband, saw the concern in his eyes. Diane had raised him alone after his father left when Marcus was 6, worked double shifts as a nurse to keep him fed and clothed. Of course he wanted to help her now. "Okay," I said, "but we need to set boundaries. This is still our home, our space." "Absolutely. I'll make sure she understands." Diane moved in on February 11th. The weather was cool, 48 degrees, overcast, threatening rain. Marcus and I helped her move boxes from her old apartment, loading his truck. She didn't have much: bedroom furniture, clothes, kitchen items, photo albums. We set up the second bedroom for her, moved our storage stuff to the hall closet, made it comfortable. "Thank you both so much," she said, hugging Marcus tightly while I stood awkwardly to the side. "I don't know what I would have done without you, baby." "It's no problem, Ma. You raised me. Now I get to take care of you." She looked at me then, smile not quite reaching her eyes. "Thank you for sharing your husband with me, Tasha." "Of course, your family." But something in the way she said, "your husband," felt possessive, like she was reminding me he was hers first. The first week was fine. Diane was quiet, respectful, spent most of her time in her room watching TV or reading. She'd make breakfast sometimes, eggs, grits, biscuits, and have it ready when we woke up. Would do laundry, clean the kitchen, organize things without being asked. "Your mom is really helpful," I told Marcus one evening in mid-February. We were in our bedroom at 10:47 p.m., both getting ready for bed. I wore my pink pajama set. He wore basketball shorts and a t-shirt. "I told you she's good people. Raised me right." "She did. You're one of the good ones." But then I started noticing things, small things that felt off. Diane would comment on what I wore. "That dress is a little short, isn't it?" she said one morning when I came out ready for work in a navy sheath dress that hit just above my knee, perfectly professional. Marcus, don't you think that's too short for an office? It looks fine to me, Ma, Marcus said, barely looking up from his phone. I'm just saying people will get the wrong idea. Tasha, honey, you're a married woman now. You should dress more modestly. I was 26 years old being told by my mother-in-law how to dress. But I bit my tongue, grabbed my purse, went to work. She'd comment on my cooking. That's a lot of salt you're using, she said one evening when I was making dinner. Baked chicken, rice, green beans, $32.18 in groceries from Publix. Marcus has to watch his blood pressure. I usually season more with herbs, less with salt. His blood pressure is fine. He had a physical last month. Still, a good wife thinks about her husband's long-term health. A good wife, like I wasn't one already, she'd comment on how I kept house. Tasha, I noticed you didn't vacuum today, I did it for you. Or Tasha, these dishes were still in the sink from breakfast. I took care of them. Always in this sweet voice, always with a smile, but the message was clear. I wasn't doing enough. Your mom is driving me crazy, I told Marcus in early March. We were in bed at 11:52 p.m., both exhausted from work, his mother asleep in the room down the hall. What did she do now? It's just constant little comments about how I dress, how I cook, how I clean. Like nothing I do is good enough. She's just trying to help. It doesn't feel like help. It feels like criticism. Baby, you're being sensitive. My mom loves you. She just has a certain way of doing things from raising me alone all those years. But I'm not raising you. We're partners, equals. I know that, and she knows that too. Just give her some grace. She's adjusting to living with us. But it got worse. In mid-March, I started feeling like I was being watched. Nothing concrete, just this feeling of eyes on me all the time. I'd be watching TV and feel it, cooking dinner and feel it, getting dressed in our bedroom and feel it, even with the door closed. Do you ever feel like your mom is always watching us? I asked Marcus one Saturday afternoon. We were grocery shopping at Whole Foods, $143.67 total, walking through the produce section. Watching us? What do you mean? I don't know. I just feel like she's always there, always observing. It's making me uncomfortable in my own home. She's probably just bored. She doesn't work anymore, doesn't have much to do. Maybe she needs to find some hobbies. Or maybe she needs to find her own place. It's been over a month, Marcus. She said 2 months max. I know, I'll talk to her about it. But he didn't, or if he did, nothing changed. Diane stayed, and that feeling of being watched intensified. Then in late March, I started having trouble sleeping. I'd wake up in the middle of the night feeling like something was wrong, like someone was in the room. I'd look around in the darkness, see nothing, tell myself I was being paranoid, but the feeling persisted. On March 28th, a Wednesday night, I woke up at 2:17 a.m. feeling that presence stronger than ever. Lay there in the dark, Marcus snoring softly beside me, listening. The apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen and the occasional car passing outside. Then I heard it, the softest creak of a floorboard, outside our bedroom door. I held my breath, listening. Another creak, then silence. Was Diane up? Going to the bathroom, maybe? But the bathroom was on the other side of the apartment. There was no reason for her to be outside our bedroom door at 2:17 in the morning. I waited 5 minutes, 10 minutes, didn't hear anything else. Eventually drifted back to sleep, convincing myself I'd imagined it. But it happened again 2 nights later. Woke up at 1:53 a.m., felt that presence, heard soft footsteps in the hallway outside our door, held my breath listening. The footsteps stopped. Stopped. Like someone was standing there. Just standing outside our bedroom door in the dark. Marcus, I whispered, shaking his shoulder. Baby, wake up. What's wrong? I think your mom is standing outside our door. What? Why would she be doing that? I don't know. I heard footsteps. They stopped right outside. He got up, opened the bedroom door. The hallway was empty, dark, no sign of Diane. There's nobody there, Tasha. I heard someone. You probably heard the building settling, or someone in the apartment above us. We're on the top floor. Then the pipes. Old buildings make noise. This wasn't building noise. It was footsteps. Baby, you're stressed. Maybe you're not sleeping well because Ma's here and it's throwing off your routine. But she's not lurking outside our door at 2 in the morning. Go back to sleep. But I couldn't sleep. Lay there the rest of the night, listening, feeling that presence. Felt like eyes were on me even in the darkness. The next morning at breakfast, I watched Diane carefully. She looked normal, gray sweatsuit, hair in a satin bonnet, eating oatmeal at the kitchen table while watching the morning news. Smiled at me when I came into the kitchen at 7:32 a.m. Morning, honey. Coffee's ready. Thanks. Did you sleep well? Like a baby. You? Not really. I kept waking up. Oh no. You should try chamomile tea before bed. That's what I do when I have trouble sleeping. She seemed completely normal. No guilt, no nervousness. Maybe Marcus was right. Maybe I was imagining things. But that night, April 1st, I woke up at 2:11 a.m. The feeling of being watched was so strong I could barely breathe. I lay there in the dark, eyes closed, pretending to still be asleep. Listened. Footsteps in the hallway, soft, careful, coming closer. They stopped outside our bedroom door. I heard the doorknob turn slowly. Heard our door open with the softest creak. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure whoever was there could hear it. I kept my breathing steady, deep, like I was sleeping. The footsteps came into our room, across the carpet. Closer, stopped beside my side of the bed. Someone was standing there, right next to me. I could feel their presence, feel them looking down at me. I waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. They didn't move, just stood there, watching me. Then I felt it, a hand, touching my hair, stroking it gently, like you'd pet a cat. It took everything in me not to scream, not to open my eyes, not to move. I lay completely still, barely breathing while someone stroked my hair. Then the hand pulled away. The footsteps retreated, out of the room. The door closed softly. The footsteps faded down the hallway. I opened my eyes in the darkness, looked over at Marcus. He was still asleep, completely unaware. I got my phone from the nightstand, checked the time. 2:23 a.m. Diane had been in our bedroom, standing over me. Watching me sleep, touching my hair. I couldn't go back to sleep. Lay there until my alarm went off at 6:30 a.m., my mind racing. What the hell was happening? Why was my mother-in-law watching me sleep? At work that day, I called my best friend Keisha during lunch break. Met her at a cafe near my office, bread and butterfly, $28.91 for both our lunches. Girl, your mother-in-law is standing over you while you sleep, Keisha said after I told her everything. She had her hair in a short natural cut, wore a burgundy dress, worked as a social worker making $49,000. Yes, at 2 in the morning, stroking my hair like I'm a dog. That's not normal, that's psychotic. I know, but Marcus doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm imagining things or hearing building sounds. So prove it, set up a camera, record her doing it. A camera in my bedroom, that feels wrong. What feels wrong is having someone watch you sleep without permission. You need proof, or Marcus is never going to take this seriously. She was right. I needed evidence. That afternoon after work, I went to Best Buy, bought a small security camera, $127.99, the kind you could hide and that recorded motion-activated footage. Set it up in our bedroom that evening at 6:47 p.m. while Marcus was still at work and Diane was in her room watching TV. Put it on top of our bookshelf, angled toward my side of the bed, mostly hidden behind some books. That night, I went to bed at 10:45 p.m. like normal. Marcus beside me, both of us in our usual pajamas. I lay there pretending to sleep but wide awake, waiting. At 2:08 a.m., my phone buzzed quietly with an alert from the camera app. Motion detected. I kept my eyes closed, listening. Heard our bedroom door open, heard footsteps. Felt someone stop beside the bed. The phone buzzed again, more motion being recorded. I lay there while I was certain it was Diane, stood over me. Felt her touch my hair again, heard her breathing. She stayed for 7 minutes according to the timestamp on my phone. 7 minutes of watching me sleep. Then she left. Door closed softly. Footsteps faded. I waited until 7:00 a.m. to check the camera footage. Watched the video with my heart pounding. There she was. Diane in her gray nightgown, hair in a bonnet, standing beside my bed, looking down at me, reaching out to stroke my hair. The footage was grainy in the dark room, but clear enough. Undeniable proof. Marcus, I need you to see something, I said at breakfast. Diane was still in her room. Just me and Marcus at the kitchen table, both holding coffee mugs, morning light coming through the windows. What's up? Last night, your mother came into our room while we were sleeping. She stood over me watching me. I have it on video. His face went from confused to disbelieving. What are you talking about? I pulled up the camera app on my phone, showed him the footage. Watched his expression change from skepticism to shock to horror as he saw his mother standing beside our bed, touching my hair, watching me sleep. What the fuck? He breathed. This has been happening for weeks. I kept telling you I felt like someone was watching me, that I heard footsteps. You didn't believe me. I didn't think. He couldn't finish the sentence, just kept staring at the video. Your mother has been coming into our room in the middle of the night to watch me sleep. That's not normal, Marcus. That's disturbing. I'll talk to her right now. He stood up, marched down the hallway to Diane's room, knocked hard on the door. Ma, come out here. I heard her door open. Marcus, what's wrong? Come to the living room. We need to talk. They came back to the living room, Diane looking confused in her robe, Marcus's face tight with anger. I stood there holding my phone. Ma, have you been going into our bedroom at night? Marcus asked. What? No, why would I do that? Don't lie, I have video of you. Her face changed, went from confused to caught. I was just checking on you, making sure you were okay. Checking on me? I'm 28 years old. And why are you checking on Tasha, touching her hair while she sleeps? I just wanted to make sure she was comfortable, that she was sleeping well. I'm a nurse, Marcus. I care about people's health. That's not nursing, Ma. That's creepy. That's violating someone's privacy. I'm your mother. I have a right to make sure my son and his wife are okay. No, I said quietly. You don't. You don't have a right to come into my bedroom while I'm sleeping. You don't have a right to watch me. You don't have a right to touch me without permission. I wasn't hurting you. I was just... You were violating me. For weeks. While I told Marcus something felt wrong, and he didn't believe me because who would think their own mother would do something like this? Diane's eyes filled with tears. You're turning my son against me. No, Ma, Marcus said. You did this yourself. What you've been doing is not okay. It's not normal. I raised you alone. I sacrificed everything for you, and now you're choosing her over me. This isn't about choosing. This is about you crossing a line, a serious line. So what, you're going to kick your own mother out, make me homeless? I'm going to ask you to respect boundaries. If you can do that, you can stay. If you can't, then yes, you need to find somewhere else to live. I can't afford anywhere else. My disability doesn't cover rent in this city. Then you need to respect our space. No more coming into our bedroom. No more watching Tasha. No more touching her. Can you do that? She looked at me with pure hatred. Fine. She went back to her room, slammed the door hard enough to rattle the walls. I'm sorry, Marcus said, pulling me into a hug. I should have believed you sooner. Yes, you should have. What do you want to do? Do you want her gone? I want to feel safe in my own home. I want to sleep without worrying someone is going to come stand over me in the dark. Can she give us that? I don't know, but I'll make sure she understands there will be consequences if she doesn't. That night, I kept the camera running. Went to bed at 10:52 p.m., exhausted from the emotional toll of the day. Marcus held me, told me everything would be okay, fell asleep within 20 minutes. I lay awake waiting, checking my phone for motion alerts. At 2:11 a.m., the alert came. Motion detected. No, she was doing it again. I kept my eyes closed, pretended to sleep. Heard the door open. Heard footsteps. Felt her presence beside the bed. But this time Marcus had set an alarm on his phone. At 2:12 a.m., it buzzed loud enough to wake him. What are you doing, Ma? His voice cut through the darkness. I opened my eyes. Diane stood there, frozen, caught in the act. I was just... Get out of our room right now. Marcus. Now. She left, practically running. Marcus turned on the light, looked at me. She's leaving tomorrow. I don't care where she goes. She can't stay here. The next morning, April 3rd, Marcus told Diane she had to leave. Had 1 week to find somewhere else to go. She cried, begged, said she was sorry, said she'd never do it again. "I don't believe you," Marcus said. "You did it again last night after promising you wouldn't. You can't be trusted. You need to go." "Where am I supposed to go?" "I don't know. Call your sister in Macon. Call your friends. Figure it out, but you're not staying here." She called me every name she could think of, said I was manipulative, said I'd seduced her son away from her, said I'd destroyed their relationship. Marcus told her to stop or he'd make her leave that day instead of giving her a week. She packed her things over the next 6 days, called Marcus, constantly trying to change his mind. He blocked her number after the 15th call. On April 9th, her sister drove up from Macon to get her. Diane loaded her boxes and furniture, shot me a look of pure hatred as she left, didn't say goodbye to Marcus. After she left, I changed the locks. $187 from a locksmith who came same day. Didn't want her having a key anymore, didn't want any chance of her coming back. Marcus and I started couples therapy the next week with Dr. James Morrison, a black man in his 50s who specialized in family boundary issues. His office was in Decatur, $165 per session with our insurance. "Your mother violated your wife repeatedly," Dr. Morrison said in our first session on April 15th. "And when your wife tried to tell you something was wrong, you dismissed her concerns. That's going to take time to rebuild trust." "I know," Marcus said, reaching for my hand. "I failed to protect Tasha. I chose believing my mother over believing my wife." "I need to know you'll believe me," I said. "Even when it's hard, even when it involves your family." "I will, I promise. I see now how manipulative my mother is, how she used my love for her to get away with things she shouldn't have." I also started individual therapy with Dr. Patricia Williams, a black woman in her 40s, $140 per session. Her office was in Midtown, calm and comfortable. "What your mother-in-law did was a form of stalking," she said in our first session on April 18th. "She violated your sense of safety in the one place you should feel most secure, your own bed. That's going to affect your ability to sleep, to feel safe, to trust." "I can't sleep with the lights off anymore. I check the bedroom door lock multiple times every night. I wake up constantly thinking someone's there." That's hypervigilance. Your brain is trying to protect you from being violated again. We'll work on helping you feel safe again. Over the next few months, slowly, I started to heal. The hypervigilance decreased. I could sleep with the lights off by June. Could go a full night without checking the door lock by July. Started to feel like our apartment was actually ours again, not invaded by Diane's presence. Marcus maintained no contact with his mother. She called from different numbers trying to reach him. He blocked each one. She sent letters. He returned them unopened. She showed up at his workplace once in May. He had security escort her off the property. "I love my mother," he told me one night in June while we lay in bed. "But I love you more, and what she did was unforgivable. I won't let her back into our lives." In August, 4 months after Diane left, we found out I was pregnant. Took the test on August 17th, $13.99 from CVS, saw those 2 pink lines and started crying. Marcus held me, both of us overwhelmed with joy and hope. "We're having a baby," he said. "Our baby, our family. Your mom is going to find out eventually. When I start showing, when people tell her. Let her find out. She's not going to be part of this child's life. I won't let her anywhere near our baby after what she did to you." We told his aunt in September, Marcus's father's sister who we were still close with. She was happy for us but asked about Diane. "She doesn't know yet," Marcus said, "and I'm not telling her." "Marcus, that's her grandchild. She gave up her right to be a grandmother when she violated my wife. She's not meeting this baby. I'm serious." His aunt looked sad but didn't push. "Our daughter Aria was born in April, 7 pounds 2 ounces, perfect in every way." Marcus cried when he held her, told her he'd always protect her, always believe her, always keep her safe. Diane found out I'd been pregnant through mutual friends. Started calling again, begging to meet her granddaughter, sending gifts we returned unopened. "Please, Marcus," she said in a voicemail I heard him play. "I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Don't punish an innocent baby for what I did." "I'm not punishing Aria," Marcus said to the phone even though she couldn't hear him. "I'm protecting her, from you." Looking back now, 2 years after those nights of Diane standing over me in the dark, I can see how that violation changed everything. How it taught me to trust my instincts, to speak up even when not believed, to document truth when words aren't enough. Here's what I want you to understand. If you feel watched, you probably are. If something feels wrong in your home, investigate. Don't let anyone make you feel crazy for noticing. Your body knows when something isn't right. Document everything. That camera saved my sanity and my marriage. Without video proof, it would have been my word against Diane's, and Marcus had already shown he'd believe his mother. Set boundaries and enforce them, even with family, especially with family. No one has the right to violate your privacy, your space, your sense of safety, not for any reason. And know that you can survive this kind of violation. It won't feel like it at first. You'll check locks obsessively, sleep with lights on, wake up constantly. But slowly, with help, you heal. Diane is still in Macon as far as I know, living with her sister, calling occasionally from new numbers Marcus blocks. She's never met Arya, never will if Marcus has anything to say about it. My mother-in-law watched me sleep thinking I didn't know, but I found out. And that truth, as disturbing as it was, set me free.